that half of my marketing budget is wasted. The problem is, I don't know which half. The manager is about the same, because he will often swing and strike out. And you remember, he's wrong half the time, he's right half the time, and sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. But what makes the manager succeed, and where your value is added, and where you will be appreciated, and where you will be promoted over your peers, ahead of your peers, is that if you can eliminate and reduce the risk for your boss, and reduce his anxiety, you'll have more time for yourself and make your boss look good. And as your boss gets promoted, you'll get promoted with your boss. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. Of course not. Because we're trained to be perfect and right all the time, but your boss is not going to be. No manager is going to be right all the time. And that's why you don't want that monkey jumping on his shoulder. You want it to stay with you. Keep the monkey on your shoulders. How am I doing on time? 5? Okay, good. As an intern, what I like to advise entry-level employees on intern is that the first way that you know that you're a success in doing your job and protecting your boss and deciding to jump on that hand grenade as it rolls down the hall from some direction, and to protect your boss from himself oftentimes, is if the boss so trusts you that he asks you to sit in a meeting for him. Remember, your manager is going to be a very busy guy, and he's not going to have time to do all the stuff that he needs to do, and he's going to start dispatching you once you have earned his trust to go sit in on meetings for him. And then at that point you begin to work your way as a deputy, and you'll be working yourself out of a job. So you'll know that you're doing well when somebody's asked you, would you please sit in a meeting for me and take notes? Now when you sit in the meeting, you'll be there ex officio. You probably won't be able to vote unless he gives you a proxy to vote in the vote, to conduct the meeting or sit in the meeting. But you will have earned his trust, and everybody at that table will understand that you're sitting there for the boss, taking notes. So one of the ways that you'll know that you're a success is that when you can sit in for the boss. Any questions at all? Terrific. And one of the things, there's two things for you. There's some handouts at the front here. If you want more handouts, please come by and take them here. And also write down my email address if you would, please. It's Jack, J-A-C-K, at yoest.org. That's J-A-C-K at Yoest, Y-O-E-S-T. I have a silent E in the middle of my name, yoest.org. I am a .org. And email me if you want any of the materials, any of the course materials, or if you want anything, because the next class is going to be on networking, and I'm going to help them segue into that. Because what I want you to do is a couple of things. How are we doing on time? Okay. In all of my seminars, I offer you a couple of things. Free is that I'll do an informational interview for anybody that asks. If you want an informational interview, if you ask, I'll talk to you. If you want a reference or referral, I'll give you references and referrals. Now, I always make that offer, not because I'm a nice guy and have lots of time, because you're wrong. I'm not a nice guy, and I don't have lots of time. I make the offer because in a room of this size, there's 90 here, there will be 6 that will do it. Everybody else is busy. Now, I expect more from this, because this is part of the Leadership Institute. I expect more, but in most classes, nobody takes advantage of it. The second thing that you'll have to do is get my contact information. You will write one of those handwritten notes on thick cardstock with a fountain pen, hand addressed with a stamped envelope, and mail it to me, thanking me for what a wonderful job it was and what a terrific presentation it was, and how you remember to keep the monkeys on the proper backs. And you'll write me a handwritten thank you note. And remember, John talked about that, and he's gotten one that he keeps framed on his desk, because nobody ever does it. It's just not that hard, is it? Finally, on your networking skills, is that when you want somebody to do something for you, the reason why I give you email addresses is because you want the person, if you want a favor, if you want some help, you need to get from them the smallest reaction back from them. You want the other person to take the smallest step towards you. You want them to do something for you. Here's an example of how that works. How am I doing? 5? Great. Have you ever wondered how these hostage negotiators will talk bomb-laden people off of planes from blowing them up? And these hostage negotiations are often successful in how they do that. One of the tricks that they use, and it's not a trick, but it's like using email, is what they'll do is in the negotiation with a hostage taker, they'll say, great, we're talking, and you want money in another plane and fuel the plane, and please release the 106 passengers. I can't do that. Well, let's talk some more. Would you like lunch? You say to the passengers. Yeah, they'll need lunch. Okay, and you go to Wendy Burgers, and you got the plastic trays, and you got the individual happy face meals, and you bring them in to the hostage takers, and they distribute the meal. And then the hostage negotiators will say to the guy with the guns and the bombs, he says, "Can I have the trays back? I need the plastic trays to get them back." The smallest step. If the hostage taker gives him the trays back, he knows that it's just a matter of time before he can get them to move to his position. Does that make sense? The analogy is on trying to get a favor from a friend, on meeting an appointment or something from a friend, is that you send them an email with some hook that gets their interest and hope that they hit the reply button back to you. Because you're not going to get a big appointment or a big job if they don't reply to the email. So the first thing you wanted to do is to reply to the email. Okay? So that's why I gave you my email address, because you're going to try that with me and see what happens. Okay? Finally, on networking. How many people here have a Christmas card list or season greeting list? Have you ever okay, the show busy girl has got the show. Good, I knew you would. Anybody else got a Christmas card? Raise your hands high. You have a Christmas card list. Okay, today you've got to start keeping a list. Now remember, for the next class on network, it's not who knows you, it's not who you know. It's who knows you. In other words, it's not who collects how many cards you collect. It's how many cards you put in other people's Rolodex. Okay. So what you want is to keep in touch with people. So from starting today, keep the database of collecting cards, and if everybody knows, put them in your good guy Outlook and improve your Outlook, and you'll see every other table. So has our Christmas card that Charmaine and I have been putting out for about 20 years now, and this has Charmaine worked as full-time staff for the Huckabee campaign, and we went around the country. She flew on the plane, and we took the Huckabee truck driving around. And so we missed it this year, so we sent it out late in April. But we still sent it out. So send out the Christmas card list. Every congressman has about 1,500 names on his list. We've got about 850. I expect you guys to start it. And then every year, do a card or to do something to reach out and touch your friends. Any questions before I close? All right, thank you very much. It's been a great group.